I ask myself if a singular great performance can carry a movie, or how much it can carry it. In this case, it is, of course, Anthony Hopkins, probably the greatest living actor. I struggle to find somebody who can match him over an entire career that is. He is amazing in this movie. The rest of the cast is solid, like there's no bad acting, there's no bad cinematography or anything. It is solid throughout, but the standout is Anthony Hopkins, and he is also the heart of the story. It is very interesting. It is a slow watch. It is a thinking movie, like you have to think about what you see. There's no grand finale, but if you like to see good actors and one really, really great actor do their thing, you should watch this movie. And now for a bit of a more spoiler-heavy review. Basically, the story is about a young boy who tries to find his way in life, and he struggles with witnessing racism. And he doesn't know how to deal with it. And his grandfather tries to give him some guidance, played by Anthony Hopkins. And his home isn't the happiest one, and isn't the nicest one, and isn't the, well, most positive one. Like, the grandfather makes a point of how his parents survived World War II, and then they faced persecution in the United States, and his family, his father also talks about how he faced persecution, but he also projects the same sort of persecution onto black people, and the son struggles with it. There are some guidances in the movie, not much more, which makes sense because the lead character is a young boy, 10, 12, I don't know, and it's would be a hard sell to say that he solves racism, which would be completely ridiculous. But he tries his best to stand up for what he believes in, which is very difficult at that age, and against adults and against police officers, but he tries. And the thing for me that bugs me a bit about this movie is that it doesn't really have a start and an end. Like, it's just an episode in his story, in his life. So if you like movies that have a clear end and a clear start, that's not in this case. Unfortunately, the story of the grandfather ends in this movie. So that is a guiding principle, or a storyline, you could say. But the story of the boy itself doesn't really end. It's just a small chapter. Like, it's not even clear if he really understood what his grandfather tried to tell him. So it's difficult to say if it's really a good story or not. It's interesting, but I would have liked a more decisive endpoint. What is interesting is there are two Trumps in this movie, like people, not the actual Trumps. Like Fred Trump and Marianne Trump, which are the father and older sister of the former president. Which is kind of interesting because the actor who played Fred Trump in his makeup looks very much like Fred Trump. And Marianne Trump is probably the best of the Trumps. Like, she's apparently the only one who doesn't have her brain removed at birth. Anyway, she's played by Jessica Chastain, who is my favorite actress, so that was a surprise. The trailer makes it a bit bigger than her role actually is. It's just like a short speech and that's it. Overall, it's a movie that gives you a bit pause and reason to think about stuff. But on the other hand, it's placed in the 1980s. That time is gone. The political and social construct that was is gone. So, I don't know. For me, this movie lives through the amazing acting and the design and the technicality of the movie, but the story is kind of the weak point. It is still good, but it just happens. Like there's no real beginning and end to it. It's an interesting concept, but not for everyone, that's for sure.